Welcome back, YouTube fans, and this is my review of s.h.figuarts Lucario figure from the Pokemon series. Now, Lucario is one of my favorite Pokemon, especially when he was first introduced because he was kind of cool looking. He has an Anubis-like head, he is bipedal, and he did get put in a movie. So he did have a big initial release or showing it when he was first introduced to Pokemon fans. I've always thought that Ash should get one of these, especially since he was shown to be a user of the Aura ability that Lucario is capable of using. But such never came to pass, at least not yet that I'm aware of. Either way, Lucario here is one of the neater figures I've gotten that isn't, strictly speaking, a humanoid. While he is humanoid-shaped per se, he is not exactly. But that just makes him a cool figure to have. Now, for comparison, this is Figma's red figure from Pokemon. As you can see, they're not a bad scale. Lucario, technically speaking, should be slightly shorter than a 10-year-old boy, but it's not a bad difference. So if you want to use these ones together, it's actually a pretty good matchup. At least that's what I would consider. Plus, you know, if you put him in the background and him in the foreground, you can probably pass off the difference in size with that. So if you're doing any pictures or model shots, that's a good one to use. Anyway, but let's get to the figure itself. First, it comes with some extra parts. There's an extra plug that goes in here for this one, so it has 3 little stand plugs to cover up the holes, and it has a Pokeball-shaped base, as you can see. It also has 2 stand bases, and the little clamp that's keeping Lucario in, and this energy ball, which is an Aura Sphere, which is one of his default attacks. He also has 3, including the one that's in right now, different eyes. Ones that are shifting slightly to one side, his straight-on look, and eyes closed. Now, to get those on, you have to take his whole front of his face off. As you can see, it's a hollow mask-like thing. And his eyes are on this. You pop this bit out here. You might want to take these off while you're doing it. His little hair doodads come off quite easily. The back plate comes off and you pop it off here. Be careful, this peg is quite small and you could easily break it. Then you can pop on, say, this one. Clip on the back plate. Clip on the front plate. And reattach the hair doodads when you do. And you'll get him with his eyes closed. And it's a really cool looking effect, in my opinion. It's layered so that the little seams where the plastic connects actually gives it a more 3D look, and it looks like he actually has eyelids. So it's really good. Now, as you can see here, the stand, you know, 3 pins there for moving. This turns, these move in and out. These are just plugged in, so they can be lost quite easily, so you might want to put them in a plastic bag when you're not using. I recommend keeping Ziploc bags for your figure parts. I have never found those storage containers great because although you can separate them into those little things, it can get randomized pretty easily. My suggestion is put them in a Ziploc bag and then put them in a plastic storage tub to put all the bags in. Label which ones are which, and this way you can keep track of your parts much more easily. Anyway, the Aura Sphere, it's the same pin thing. That's what it is without this little clamp attached. And there's a hole on the bottom here for the Aura Sphere. So you can put it into like a really cool pose of him like drawing up the energy to create the ball. Lucario himself his little hair doodads are the one weak point of this figure. They are not that greatly secured, so if you need to tighten the joint on the ball or the inside of the hole, take a little bit of clear nail polish and coat it with just a little tiny bit. That'll tighten it up nicely. And if you need to, it's easier to remove. The stuff doesn't fully stick, so it can be removed with just a little bit of work. Maybe like a soft side of a sponge would be best. Now, as for Poseability, he's got a fair number of joints. Maybe too many, I'm not totally sure. But as you can see here, he's got joints here in the leg. His thighs move. His arms move in a full range. His paws move. His hair moves, obviously. His tail moves back, forth, round. It's got a ball joint with a swing in it. And he's pretty dynamically movable. So he's a really good figure. So if you are looking at this figure at all, I would recommend him. He's really good. Oops. That's the one part. The hair will do that. Now these can be switched around. There isn't anything holding them in that particular hole, so you might find it also fits better in one instead of the other. Now, one other thing I want to show you is this. This is one of the domestically released in the US Pokemon figures of Lucario, and the best I could find. As you can see, it's tiny compared to him. Now, it's also cheaper, but look how little movement there is in this. Up and down, no leg movement, the tail can only move it round in circles, and the head moves to some degree. But these things can get in the way of the arms if they're raised at all. So, rubbing damage. And the only accessory it comes with is a marble of Lucario, whose form. So, all in all, this is a really good figure. If you're looking to purchase a figure of Lucario, the s.h.figuarts one is a good one. I don't know how available they are. It's been a couple years since it was put out, but it's a really cool figure, and I strongly recommend it for any collector or fan of Pokemon or of this character in particular. Anyway, that's all for now. Like, subscribe, comment, and share this video if you could. It helps me out a lot, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.